The Beatles' final period was filled with tension and internal conflict. After the contentious recording sessions of the 1968 album, The White Album, the atmosphere remained strained during the making of Let It Be, their last studio album. This period was also marked by Ringo Starr temporarily leaving the band due to disagreements. Recording for Let It Be began in January 1969 at Twickenham Studios, with plans for the band to create a new album and rehearse for a return to live performances. The entire process was filmed for a documentary. However, tensions escalated, and on January 10, 1969, George Harrison quit the band after a disagreement with Paul McCartney. During the sessions, George presented several songs, some of which later appeared on his solo album, All Things Must Pass, but his bandmates showed little enthusiasm. Frustrated by the lack of support and the negative atmosphere, George expressed his feelings in a 1987 interview, saying he had grown tired of the bad vibes and no longer cared about being a Beatle. One of the songs George had written at the time was I Me Mine, which reflected his feelings about ego and disconnection within the band. In the Beatles anthology, George explained the song was about ego and the duality of self, symbolized by the small I and the big I. It encapsulated his spiritual frustrations and personal growth. In the Let It Be documentary, George is seen playing I Me Mine to the rest of the band, but Paul and John seemed uninterested. According to a book by Doug Sulpy and Ray Schweighardt, John even mocked the song and dismissed it, saying the Beatles were a rock and roll band with no room for a Spanish waltz. This response contributed to George's temporary departure. Although George returned to the band a few days later, the damage had been done. John Lennon later asked for a divorce from the band, and the split became public in April 1970. Ironically, the last song the Beatles recorded together before the official breakup was I Me Mine, completed without John in January 1970. Despite the lukewarm reception of the Let It Be album, I Me Mine was praised, showcasing George Harrison's growing creative strength.